everyone. Welcome to Sports Corner with the Conn Man. I am your host, the Conn Man. And with me, I have two very special guests. I got my compadre, Mr. Mike Samuel. How you doing, Mike?
I'm doing well. How are you, Michael?
Very, very well. And I also have my man, Mr. Mike Myers the second. And we're going to be talking about the NBA, which is the Military Basketball Association. And I know, Mike, you did some little bit of research. We had him on. I think he's coming on soon again. What do you know about the Military Basketball Association?
Well, based on our last conversation with Mike,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
pretty.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. It's a pretty competitive worldwide competition, right? So throughout our country, through Europe, it's on par with, I think, probably you're looking at Division II basketball, probably like small Division I basketball. I took a look at their All-Star game from last summer, and I also took a look at their finals, the Army Navy game just recently. So pretty competitive. Those guys really go at each other, so it's pretty cool to watch.
Absolutely. And now we have, ladies and gentlemen, my man, Mr. Mike Myers the second, CEO of the NBA Military Basketball Association. How you doing, my brother?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. How are you? Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, we good. We good, my brother. We good. Can you tell the folks who didn't observe the last show that we were on together what you're doing, what's transpiring now, and what your vision is of the NBA?
Yeah, what we're doing. First of all, thank you, Michael and Michael, Mike and Mike and Mike,
Yes, sir.
for giving me a platform to come on and talk about military basketball. The Conn Man, you guys have been great. You've been following us, so on behalf of all the coaches and players in the NBA, thank you for this platform. But yeah, the NBA is it's a platform for military basketball, installation military basketball. We use this as an outlet for people who may or may not be going through post-traumatic stress, or just having dealing with combat deployment issues. The basketball association, our basketball association, is dedicated to giving these servicemen and women an outlet, and so it's really great. It's fun, and so our efforts now have been focused on trying to give these service members the biggest and best platform to play military basketball. So it's been great. We've been working 24/7. Sometimes I've talked to coaches and teams all across the world. And it's been phenomenal. And we've got we let some exciting news out yesterday, and we think that this is the beginning of some more news, some more exciting news in the future.
Now, Mike, let me ask you a question again. For those who are watching in and tuning in who don't know, how did this transpire? What was the impetus to make this happen?
To be completely honest, I mean, this is about a 10 or 15-year project in the works for some of our coaches, because, I mean, everyone has always wanted to play military basketball at a high level, but there wasn't the organization or the mechanism to bring everything together. But for me personally, I used coaching basketball to stay grounded in society. When I came back from deployment, I had a rough deployment in 2007. I was medically evacuated, came back, and for about 5 years, I bottled up a lot of the post-traumatic stress that I personally dealt with. Coaching was something that I got into in 2011, had some success, coaching at Fort Riley, and then moving to Korea, winning tournaments in Korea, coming back to Fort Hood, and reestablishing the program there, and then winning 2 national championships there, and then getting selected to coach and represent the United States Army on the women's side. Got a silver medal and a gold medal.
That's awesome.
So winning there, and then in 2017, myself and two other gentlemen decided that we should put some organization behind military basketball, and try to have a banner, that and a postseason tournament that people could look forward to. And so, um, and representative of installation military basketball, so guys playing and practicing all year with their installation, coaches recruiting in that military community for their installation, and having something to work towards, and win an NBA championship. So, that's the basis for why we have done this, and it's catching on, um, and we're really, 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 really,
Yes.
really, really excited
I know,
about
I know.
about
We're gonna
what's
get to
coming
that a little bit
in the
later.
future.
We're gonna get to that a little bit later,
Yep, yep.
but Mike, first of all, I want to thank you for your service to protecting us to be able to do what we do. But I'm gonna be a devil's advocate, Mike, because you know something? I know a lot of people there. Who cares about the military basketball? Who cares about that? What do you say about that
Well, I will
military
tell you.
basketball?
Yeah, I'll be very, very, frank, and tell you, when you say who cares, one, I care. Um, a lot of other people who have served care, and let's just get down to the numbers, right? There's about 330 million Americans in this country, right? Less than 1% of them raise their hand and serve, right? Probably less than that have actually seen or been in combat, like I have, and many others, that have worn the uniform. So a lot of people care because when you are called to serve, there's no Democrats, there's no Republicans, there's no left versus right. We go forward and execute, and do what our calling is, and protect and uphold the Constitution. And so, as a person who's served, there's so many people who care. And now, I'll take it back to, I'll put it this way to you, and this is something that you can probably relate to. Um, when guys got back from Vietnam, many soldiers, they were spit on at the airports and all that stuff. And so the country had a chance to reflect on what happened during the Vietnam War. And so when the Gulf War happened, um, you know, an emphasis was put on honor to serve. Actually, it's really an honor. It's been an honor for me for the last 23 years, and it's an honorable thing. It's a calling. So the tide has turned. And there's no we're not at a place in this country where we don't care about those who serve and protect us, and provide freedom for us. Uh, while everybody else kind of, is able to enjoy the freedoms that are protected by us.
That is a great point. And Mike, that's why I wanted you on the show again because, some people will make the statement that, military vet, are they good? Is the talent that good? I know they serve us, but military basketball. And I'm going to keep it real with you, Mike. I didn't know much about it. I had no
Sure.
idea until I looked you up on Facebook and I saw all the tremendous things that you guys are doing. And I wanted you on my show, but I had no idea. And I'm sure a lot of people don't know what you guys have done. And I just want to make sure that when you came on the show tonight, that everything that you need to say gets said because people need to know.
Yeah, no, absolutely. What's really critical, when you talk about, um, are the athletes actually good, right?
They are.
Uh,
I
the
saw.
the
They are.
athletes the athletes are phenomenal, right?
Yes.
Many of them have actually played Division I college basketball. Many of them have played some sort of organized college or semi-pro or professional ball overseas. Some of them even got drafted. And so, when we start looking at, the quality of talent of our athletes, I believe that they're second to none, right? And they're these jewels, these gems that are spread out all over the country, and they have exceptional talent. And they don't have in the past, they didn't have a platform, to perform. And so that's where we've come forward. We've given them a platform to execute their talents. It's also a retention mechanism. It's like, because, if you're not in the military, you really can't play in our league. And so, 98% of our athletes are active duty service members, right? And then, there's an option for their families as well if dependents want to play. But the real kicker here is, these guys wanted a platform to play on, and they wanted an organization that could, make things happen for them and give them a place where they can showcase their talent. And that's what we've been doing. And it's only getting better every year. That's really all I can tell you, is that every year, we have some growing pains, and they're great problems to have when you start talking about, how to manage, 40 or 50 teams around the world. And so it's just exciting for us, and I look forward to the days when, you know we're at a place where the NBA is next to the NBA, and we have a partnership, and we have an agreement, and we have it's a well-known fact that, our military-based teams are aligned with the same mission as the National Basketball Association. That's what we want. That's what we're aiming for, and that's why, um, we're looking for platforms to play on, so that these guys can showcase themselves.
Now, before I go any further, I want to talk about the financial difficulties you may be having because, like the WNBA and all that, what I mean, and the NIL and all those things that you guys have to deal with in trying to establish a league the way you guys have trying to establish. And I think you got some good news for us maybe later on, but we won't go in there right now. But anyway, I gotta have my boy, my compadre, Mike Samuel. Mike, what you got to say?
Well, after Mike's first visit, I had been doing some research and just looking around and following him everywhere I can find him, and trying to be an advocate for my own little world. But one of the things, Mike, that came back to me, and you just said this earlier about the sacrifices these men and women have made,
Yes.
and the advocacy that you guys are trying to actually apply to them and get that notice and get that message out. One of the things, and I'm going to bring this to me for 1 second. One of the things that I have been doing most of my life is through athletics, whatever it is at this point, right? If I'm sitting on my Peloton bike pedaling away for, 30 minutes a day, 9 miles, not 9 miles as far as I can go, it's that level of adding some physical stress to your body that alleviates your mind, right? And I think that's what you guys come down with, what you're trying to do and educate and guide these people through the issues that they have. And I think that's a great message to have. And I think in different times, different people have tried to deliver that message. But I think the platform that you now have, Mike, that you're trying to establish, and I will go into your exciting news in a little while about what's taking place, in positioning that information for people to know. Because, like Michael and I, we didn't know, right? That we knew there were some issues that took place, but now you're starting to see it on a more regular basis. And like I said, I'm trying to share whatever I can share and getting it out to people. I was having a discussion with someone today about that, Mike, about what's really taking place. And that was my dad. My dad had no idea that this actually existed. So that goes to my brothers and that goes to their friends as far as what's taking place. So I'm kind of just sitting on my own little platform here, trying to just spout off and trying to drive and promote you guys as best I can. But some of these things actually started to hit home for me as far as what was really out there and where we need to go and how big this needs to be. Because I think you're at this point, I think we're just scratching the surface with this.
Absolutely, and that's the biggest thing. And I'm gonna share something with you guys that's personal. Um, when you've done the type of combat missions that I've done, and with a unit, the type of unit that I was with, and during the surge, And I'll say this, forever. The Black Knights of 1-5 Cav, that was my unit when I went over to Baghdad, and we had a tough deployment, and everybody dealt with it differently. Um, we lost people when we came home to suicides, to accidents. It's just so crazy that you go through the razor blade type situation in a deployment, where you're fighting Al Qaeda and whoever else, and then you come home and then you have to adjust and you have to come home. And I wanted you guys to think about this. Here's the other part of that is when I got back home, I had a heart condition, still have one. And when you guys post pictures of like Reggie Lewis and stuff like that, I can relate to that because I had a heart condition, still live with it, with an arrhythmia like that, where that could hurt me. So I got back home and I couldn't even play basketball anymore, right? And so, what's my sanctuary? And there are millions and millions and millions of veterans, Americans, that live with some type of stress. It may not be physical, but it might be mental, right? And so for me, the biggest thing for me was, when I was clear to actually start playing again. I got off all of my, anxiety medications. I stopped taking all of those. And I started playing basketball again, and I loved it. I mean, I absolutely loved it. I started at Fort Riley, like playing again, and then I was approached by someone to coach. To reestablish the Fort Riley basketball team, and got a chance to meet Bruce Weber from K State when he was coaching there. And I'm sure you guys know who Bruce Weber is, coached at Illinois, D Brown, and all those guys, right? I got a chance to do that, right? So when you start talking about, the interactions that I did just from starting a team, the soldiers that were on my team were dealing with other problems. But when they came to practice and they played in the games, that was their sanctuary, and that was the place where they were able to like let all that stress out. And some of them were like, Coach, if I didn't have military basketball, if I didn't have basketball, I don't know what I'd do. I don't know if I'd be in the service. And some people have said, you know what? I don't even know if I'd be alive. Right. And so when I heard that um, from so many people, it was more like, you know, these guys are choosing life through basketball. And that's where that came from, life through basketball. You know, you don't people who suffer from post-traumatic stress injuries are contemplating some type of suicidal ideation or just going through some difficult times in their life. They can choose life, right? And a lot of them do. So what's the mechanism that they go to? What's keeping them alive? And for us in the Military Basketball Association, it's all about basketball. We use that. Our coaches are empowered. They're working towards a goal to win an NBA championship. While they're doing that, they are actually educating um, these guys. They're mentoring them in their lives, and they're telling them there's no problem that's too difficult that you can't solve, right? And the stigma that exists in mental health, that's overcome through sports. Sports is what unites us. Like I said, there's no black, there's no white, there's no racism. Everybody is united in sports. When Jesse Owens won the gold in 36 at the Olympics, when he stood on that podium, he was an American, period. No matter what anybody says, he was an American. That united an entire country against something that, against racism at a time, when things were terrible. That's what we're trying to do. This scourge, this thing of mental health, this disease of all these suicides that are happening within the veterans community, we got to do something about it. And for me, all the people that I've lost, all of the people that I have lost through suicide, um, I'm doing this for them. I'm doing this for their families because nobody should be forced to make that ultimate decision to take their life. And so if you don't play basketball, you can come watch a game. If you do play basketball, you can participate in practice. compete. You can compete on a high level. And what we're doing now is we're saying, hey, we're not just going to let you play on Facebook Live. We're saying, hey, we want you to play on this, underneath the big lights. And that's what's important to me. So sorry I took a little bit of time there, but this mental health thing is passionate for me. It's important. And if I have to be the leader, the guy that steps forward and says, hey, instead of using or demonstrating harmful behaviors towards yourself, why don't you come out here and play a little basketball? We got some coaches, some great coaches out there that can help you through that. And if they can't help you through your mental problems or the mental issues that you have, they can connect you to the right people that can.
And Mike, I told three Mikes here. I told Mike Samuel that I wanted to dedicate this show to you. I could care less about my show. I care about what you're trying to do and the impact that you and your crew are making. So don't think you took too much time. You have all the time that you want, my friend, because
Oh man, thank
we
you.
live in a life right now where we enjoy how we're living, but we never went through what you guys have went through, or the pain, the suffering, the suicidal issues, all the things you went through. We never experienced it. You know what I'm saying? So whatever we can do to bring attention to what you're trying to do, that's my goal. So you can take as long as you want, my friend.
Oh man, I don't want to ramble because even my team thinks that I can get on my soapbox and I can talk a whole lot. But it is serious, in my situation, I was fortunate, I left my little girl at I think she was 5 years old when I left her with my mom and dad. Um, for a whole year, for 11 months. And so, and then I couldn't really talk to her because I wanted to stay focused on, just trying to get back from the deployment alive. But that's my story, right? There are other people who have been on 5, 6, 7 deployments, both in Iraq and Afghanistan, and they're out there playing basketball, man, or they're coaching basketball. And that's their out, you know, that's their out. And they're paying out of their own pocket, to have some type of joy and peace in their life. And so what we're saying is, hey, the NBA is here. We're trying to raise funds to support, life through basketball, to support the basketball. And, keep doing what you're doing because help is on the way. It's been 5 years, you know, but through education and through some mentoring on from some people on my own, we're getting very, very close to bringing this thing to a situation where everybody, if you want to play basketball, you just need to find a coach on an installation and join the team.
Okay, can I jump in real quick?
Go ahead, Mike. Go ahead. You got that, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Amongst the three of us, I never thought basketball would be this type of vehicle.
No, neither
Never thought that. I mean, I know where it leans with me as far as importance in my life, and I think I can speak for Mr. Consacio a little bit. But Mike, I had no idea that you had this opportunity, and there is this opportunity for people to get help and get assistance through the vehicle. Never thought this.
It's pretty powerful, but I go back to my coach. When I was in 7th grade, I had a coach, greatest coach I've ever known, right? And I've gotten a chance to sit down and talk with some NBA Hall of Fame coaches.
I know.
Larry Brown and John Thompson Jr. rest in peace, and Patrick Ewing, different, Shaka Smart, right? But the greatest coach I've ever had was my high school basketball coach, and his name was Chuck Faust. Christian guy. Got a chance to meet him when I was in the 7th grade and was my coach through high school. Taught me how to win, but taught me how to win the right way. But if I didn't meet him, who knows what I would have been doing? What if I didn't come in contact with that guy as a young man? I don't know where I'd be, right? I mean, he's just an amazing. He's still coaching, amazing basketball coach. Coaches different sports, volleyball. So, I mean, he's just great. And what is kind of amazing here is that his example to me has been basically the blueprint for what we're trying to do with the Military Basketball Association. You know, basketball as a vehicle is something that everybody can ride on this vehicle. And so there's something for everyone. And, what we're looking for is people who want to get on this train because it's moving. And so, you know, uh, it doesn't matter what level, right? You could talk this in the NBA, sports psychology. How do
Mhm.
we get people to deal with high pressure situations, high pressure moments, right? How do they navigate and find balance with basketball in their lives in the NBA? That's difficult. You have all the bright lights, the stars, the money, the media, everything that's around you. But that's no different than someone who's been deployed, um, who's done unthinkable things in the name of the country, seen things that are unimaginable, and comes back home and they're trying to readjust and get back into society. How do they do that? They're going to have to deal with counseling and all that stuff. But what's their outlet? And time again, what we've seen is people making the wrong choices for an outlet. Drugs, alcohol, harmful behaviors, suicidal ideations. Um, but who's really thought about, hey, you know what? You could play some sports, and all that aggression and all the things that you have inside of you, we can channel that. We can make that something that's extra special for you. And so that's what we're trying to do.
Well, Mike,
You mentioned one. Sorry, Mike. One last thing. Mike, you keep going back to the coaching and the coaches you guys have, and Michael and I have talked about this quite often privately and on his podcast about those teachers that have been involved in different stages of your life and the impacts that they have. And that's a really great point, talking about your high school coach and that model and that blueprint as far as what you're trying to bring forward with your advocacy for this. And there have been numbers of people that throughout your life that have, you may not know it at the time, but something very small may stay with you for the rest of your life, and you start talking this way, and all of a sudden you kind of reflect back on, geez, where did I hear this from? This is not an original thought, right? Because those people, those men and women that impact your life as teachers, as coaches, as assistants, really play a key role in your development, right? As far as how you're going to be able to deal with people that are suffering, right? Maybe not be suffering out front, but they're suffering, and you're trying to figure out how to work with them and help them. So yeah, I can land with that coaching piece and the teacher side of this, where I think it's a really great, important message.
And we have some great, amazing coaches. I'll start with the first coach that I ever met in military basketball, and that was Coach Ace. He just finished up a Court of Dreams opportunity in Atlanta with his folks, with his Fort Benning team. Amazing coach. Albert Mayon, who's our president of basketball operations, and he's the coach out at West Texas Military Basketball, which is the Fort Bliss community. Great coach. In LA, or actually in Camp Pendleton, you have Dave Anderson. Dave Anderson has been doing backpack drives and doing things in his community for years, right? And so when those young men, are looking for a beacon or for a place to play basketball, Dave has been a competitive coach for the last, 3 or 4 years. And then, our champion, or one of our champion coaches, Paris Daniel in Phoenix at Luke Air Force Base, great basketball coach, has been competitive, been in the NBA championship game 2 years in a row. For some reason, even though he loses players because they leave and get transferred to different bases, he's always competitive. Calvin Conliffe, John Morgan, Coach Snow at Fort Worth. I mean, we've got some amazing talent basketball coaches, and the reason why these guys are critical to what we do is because it's bigger than basketball to them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to mentor these airmen. They're trying to mentor these soldiers and sailors, Marines. It's bigger than basketball to them. And so while they're out there in the trenches, which I used to be in the trenches as a coach, while they're in the trenches, on our side of the house, myself and the NBA staff, we're fighting, in the corporate rooms, to get them what they're due. And so, we're close with so many of the things that we've been doing. Um, but we are we're really close. And I laugh at that because it's a long time coming, and I'm proud of these guys. You know, it hadn't been easy. You know, um, and we've had tough love with some of our coaches, and some of our coaches have had tough love with me. As a commissioner of this thing, but um, in the end, when we all get together, it's a big, big, big reunion, and it's just nothing but love for those guys, man. The guys that are playing in the NBA this season, I love them to death, and they're an NBA coach, and we're about to show that being an NBA coach means something. There's a reason why Dave went over to Hawaii with, I think he went over to Hawaii with 6 players, and he ended up having to play himself, and he won the whole tournament. He won the tournament with 6 players. He went from Camp Pendleton over to Hawaii and won a tournament with 6 players and himself, right? That's the dedication and commitment that you get with an NBA coach. They're used to going 4 games in a weekend, and these guys grind it out. And so I love what these guys are doing, because the road trips, that's where the mentoring happens. The locker rooms, the pep talks, the different things that are being said in the huddle, what Coach Paris Daniel or Cal Conliffe, when he was coaching, what he says to get those guys motivated, it doesn't just stay with them when they are on the basketball court. These guys take that home with them. They take it home with them. They use it in their everyday lives. And Ace used to be a first sergeant, a senior enlisted person. And so the advice that he gives these guys is not just for them to be better basketball players, it's for them to be better men.
Mike, that's deep. And Mike, I'm gonna keep it real with you because you know how I am. Obviously, I'm doing the show right now. I have the platform to try to help others and uh, promote programs and do a lot of good things. And I've had some NBA ball players on my show. I've had some things, but what you're doing to me means way more important than getting NBA ball players or doing all that stuff. And I just want to thank you again for coming on my show. And I think you might have some good news to say. But before we get to that, Mike, what you're doing, obviously there is some constrictions as far as the financial part of it. Can
Yeah.
you tell us what financial issues have come your way and what can people who are watching or listening can do to help?
Yeah, absolutely. If you go to mynbaglobal.com, there's a donate button right there. You can donate a little, you can donate a lot. There's easy. It's very, very simple for you to go and donate to Life Through Basketball. That goes directly towards what we're doing. The biggest thing that I think impacts us as far as the financial situation goes is, these guys are already coming out of pocket for their travel, right? But then, we charge them an entry fee for to help run the event or offset the cost of an event, because events now, the way our events are going, they're getting bigger and better, and so they cost a little bit more. So we're looking for apparel partners. We're looking for people to see our vision, see the impressions and the things that we can do with a partnership, and be a part of a conversation that's bigger than just basketball, right? Something that actually helps the entire global community. But the challenges that we have is, our coaches, they bear the burden of taking care of the team, and our players, they bear the burden of traveling and the expenses that they have to do to travel, because, this is not fully funded, and so what we're trying to do is take all that away. And I'm saying it right here on the show. We're working our behinds off day and night. The 6 people that are on my team that are actually doing this, to really, 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 really take that burden away or offset it as much as possible. And we're talking like 80%. I mean, if I could say, hey, all you guys got to do is show up, and when you show up, your hotel is paid for. All you got to do is show up, play basketball, and represent yourselves as service members in the armed forces. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we're trying to get at. To do that, it costs about $3 to $5 million a year, right? To do it the right way. So that's why we're having these conversations and trying to get the biggest platforms we can to get our message out, so that we attract people that say, "Hey, you know what? I see this idea, and I'm going to invest in it."
Well, Mike, let me tell you something right now. I didn't know you from a hole in the wall. I saw you on Facebook, and I looked at what you were doing and what you're trying to strive to do. I ain't rich, but I have some contacts, and my man Mike Samuel has some contacts. We are going to see what we can do to help your mission. And
Oh man, that'd be awesome. It'd
I
be
think
awesome.
I think that it's worthwhile because you all gave your life for us. Why can't we do the same damn thing? That's me.
You know, I people say thank you for your service to me all the time,
Uh huh.
and and I love it. I'm like, no problem. My return is, or my response always is thank you for paying your taxes, right? Because that's
Right.
that's what helps the world,
Exactly. Exactly.
So but I also realize that not that, service isn't for everyone, right? It's just not for everyone. Not everyone can serve, and for medical reasons, or just not what they want to do, right? And so, but they do. The people that don't serve, but understand that the reason we have a country and borders, and we don't live in tyrannical society, is because we have the strongest military in the world. And no one will, we to my knowledge, no one has seriously tested our might for almost a century, right, or half a century. And so, I am grateful for that. And when I was 18 years old, if you asked me to join the service, I would have told you a whole bunch of things, right? Yeah, that a
Me too.
1990s teenager would have said. But if I had to do it all over again, I would. I've been in 23 years. Um, I've served honorably, and um, I love the Army. You know, I got this shirt. The Army's on my back. Um, and the Army has been an amazing platform for me. I've been able to meet and do and see a whole bunch of different things. And so, recruiting wise, that's what we're about. We have to tell the story, the true story of what it is and what it means to serve. And I am committed to that. The NBA is invested in the 3 R's, which is recruiting, resiliency, and retention. Recruiting to get other folks to join, resiliency to take care of the troops that we have that are actually serving in all four services, and then retention, like, stay in, go, you're 20. I've been in 23. I hope they let me out. but, but, I should be retired here shortly, but it's an amazing commitment and decision, and it should be respected. And you guys respect it, and so many other people do. And I hope that, I hope some of your contacts can see this vision, see this mission, and really, commit to it, and invest with whatever they can.
They will. I guarantee they will. My man Mike, what do you got to say, my man? This guy's incredible. Go ahead, Mike.
Well, I wanted to follow up, Mike, on one of the things that we talked about in the last podcast, which we talked about right at the end, which was some of the clinical studies that were going on that you were supporting in delivering. If you could update us on that, that'd be great.
Yeah. So what's really cool is I have my amazing wife is looking at longitudinal studies. Okay. Um, that are focused on the quality of life that our events have, and the impacts they have on service members. What's their quality of life before the event, and what's their quality of life, and what's their outlook on everything after the event? And so she's looking at trying to um, get a health, one of the health services companies, Johnson and Johnson, Bristol Myers Squibb, someone to get involved in that regard and do a study. I think our guys would take, would answer a few questions about what the NBA and how the impact of it is. I mean, think about it. If you're having a terrible week, but going into the weekend that you're going to play in an NBA event, it's going to be fun, you know, and the event starts on Friday and it's over on Sunday, and you go to work on Monday, what do you think your Monday is going to be like? Even if you lose, even if
Exhilarating.
you lose, your quality of life is going to change. You're going to see
Mhm.
people that you hadn't seen in a while. You're going to be in a place, at least with us, that that's a great venue, a great city, because most of our events are in absolutely fantastic cities right around the country. And you come back to work. What's the impact? You know, you could have had, like, someone could have rear-ended you on Thursday. You go to the NBA event on Friday. You come back on Monday and you're like, hey, I just got to pay the deductible, and then my car's going to be fixed. It's not that big of a deal. Like I've got a positive outlook on life, and that's just one scenario or instance of how I think we're impacting quality of life. And so um, that's something that she's done. She's got quite a few uh, requests in, and so we're I am not a researcher, right? I'm not an assessment person. She's got her background, her master's degree in research and assessment through psychology, and so she knows exactly what to ask and where to go with this. And it looks like, and so those are the types of introductions that we're starting to look at as far as the Military Basketball Association is concerned when it comes to, quality of life assessments and actual behavioral health studies. So we're looking at it. It's very positive. And it's something that we're aggressively going to attack this summer.
That'd be great to have as far as a data set to go forward. I think as
Yeah,
far as
absolutely.
having that on your platform and being able to deliver that information and look at those outcomes. I think that'd be really good.
Now,
Yeah,
Mike,
yeah.
I'm gonna hit you up. You know how I am. I'm crazy, but I'm gonna hit you up real quick. You know, for those who are watching, those who are listening, let us know a little update as to far as what you guys are going through and what your mission is in the near future. Do you have any plans forthgoing? And how can people get in touch with you or your organization or what they can do to assist in your mission to make the NBA what it to reach its full potential?
To reach its full potential, I would tell. So first and foremost, if you want to do something right away, you can go to mymbaglobal.com. There's a donate button right there on the right-hand corner. We're updating our website now because we've got some great news and a lot of things that are happening. We've got some things moving, but you can click donate right now. Get involved right away through the Life Through Basketball, that button. Um, but my MBA Global, and that's mymbaglobal.com. That's the best way to find out more about the Military Basketball Association. Our leadership is there. The games that are happening from week to week are on there. The scores and updates, um, and then our vision and mission statements on there too as well. Some of our previous sponsors are on there. And then if you want to reach me, I'm not hard to reach. 254-368-1180. That is my cell phone. You can contact me if you want to get involved, and I am more than happy to get involved with this and to work with anyone who wants to help us. As far as what we're doing in the future, I mean, we posted something. I sent our deputy commissioner went to New York yesterday. Got a chance to meet with Paramount Veterans Network, which has several media platforms under it. Um, and so we've been working with a group called Paramount Veterans Network, and they're actually a networking group, right? So they don't have their own TV channel, but they are a network. And so I reached out to someone named Eddie Diaz. amazing Latina and person that really, really, really wants to support the military. So myself and Coach Ace, we've been working with her for the last couple of months, and the idea was, hey, how do we get this on the highest platform that we can? And so yesterday, um, I got the go for our press release because we're going to have many of our events on Pluto TV on their video on demand library. So not only will the event be live streamed, but that event will also be seen on their video on demand library with everything else. And so the details for like where and how to click on it and how to watch it, those are still going to be going to be announced at a later date. But I mean, we got Pluto TV. They have 72 million viewers. They are projected to have 125 million viewers by 2025. It's a great platform. It's free, right? I can watch Pluto TV on my cell phone, my laptop, my television, any of my devices. And that meets our mission. Our mission was to get what we're saying, what we're doing to as many Americans as possible. Well, 72 million, that's not too bad.
That is fantastic. Congratulations. Wow. That is unbelievable, man. Wow. You guys deserve it, and I'm so proud of you and what you're doing and what your organization is doing. NBA, that is fantastic. Wow. I,
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. I mean,
I, I'm,
it's
I'm lost for words right now. Mike, go help me out.
Well, I think it's just a follow up off of our podcast, my guys. I think we should take some credit in this, right? I think we kind of started the discussion, right? And well, I'll take whatever we can. But that's fantastic, Mike. I saw that last night, and again, my heart kind of jumped when I saw it. I was like, oh, this is really cool, right? This
It
is something
is.
I know you guys been working hard for.
Yes.
We talked about platforms and streaming and all this other stuff the last time you were with us. So I'm glad to see that actually has become a reality. So that's fantastic.
well, there's a few other nuggets that are going to come out in the weeks to come that I think are going to be fantastic. Next week, we're going to release some stuff as well that is going to be just amazing. Um, just other people that are coming on board and really seeing the vision. Seeing that Military Basketball Association is not just about military basketball. It's guys coming together for a common purpose as an outlet. And so, we're excited about it. We're extremely excited about it. And I mean, with Betty's help, and able to make the connections that we were able to make with Pluto Television. I mean, in the last 5 weeks, you know, I've had the opportunity to brief several billion-dollar companies. You know,
Wow.
so
Wow.
just to get in the room with some of these apparel companies and to talk to people like Pluto TV, or just talk to people like Betty Diaz that are with Paramount Bet Network. It's amazing, and they what I've realized and what I've been educated on is in the media business, in the media relations business, there are so many things that happen that we don't see behind the scenes, and it is extremely difficult to be in a situation like we're in. It takes years of work, and it showed me that I'm going to have to work even harder to try and get this as a long term situation where this is what's expected. But we've been setting the bar high since 2018, and so the air's kind of thin up here where we are. But we enjoy it. It's hard work. My team is it's hard work. They push me, I push them. Um, but we're getting there. We're getting to the point where you know what, we're about to be a household name.
Mike, you are the right person for the job. I can guarantee you that you are the right person for the job. I, you know, again, when I first looked you up on Facebook and saw what you were doing, I was impressed, but now I am so much more impressed. And I guarantee you, we're going to make this happen, or we're going to give it the best effort to try to make it happen. Mike has a lot of contacts. I have a lot of contacts, and we're gonna see what we can do because at the end of the day, it's easy to talk basketball and sports, but there's more to that. It's about life. It's about your legacy. It's about what you do for others, and you have again performed that kind
Well,
of.
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead.
ask you guys for a favor, for some help.
I got you.
We've got a guest speaker coming in, a service member from VetNet, right? From Paramount. But we would like to have a high profile VIP former NBA player as a guest speaker for the Hall of Fame in May, on the 26th of May.
I could do
And
that.
so, Mike, I know I know you probably have all kinds of names. Both Mikes, I know you guys have all kinds of names that go through your head. And all I would say is just give us some names of some guys that might be willing to come to Wichita, right, and speak to the 12 Hall of Fame inductees, because that's a huge thing. That's big news too. I didn't get a chance to talk about that,
I can
but
do that. I
you
can
can
do
do
that.
that. All
I
right,
can do that.
I'm telling you that it'd be great. I think that would be great.
I'm not gonna give no names now, but I can do that.
Okay, I'm great. I'm with it. I'm with it, man. And that's the other thing too, that I want to say to both of you guys, for giving us the platform. I say us because I'm just a figurehead, a person who's doing something, and representing a larger group, and I hope I'm doing the best I can to represent them. But the people that have given us a platform, like yourself, I'm never going to change. I don't want to change. I don't want to forget the platforms that have been offered to us, the people that have done really great things for us, like you guys and VetNet and Trevon Amir with his show at First Formation. I don't, I want to make sure that you guys aren't forgotten. And I won't. I can never be as grateful and thankful to you guys for just listening, because that's what we don't do enough of in this country. We don't listen to each other. And veterans have been screaming out loud for years about what's been going on with them. And I was listening. And now you guys are listening. So if we can get the rest of the country to listen, I think we'll be fine.
And Mike, something that's my goal. I'm older now, and it's not about what you can do for me. It's what I can do for others. And
Yes.
my man Mike sent me the same way. So best believe we're gonna make it happen. But you gave me no invite though. That's the problem. You want me? I get no invite. That's the problem right now.
And you guys got to let me come. So after the finals, right? You got to let me come back on the show and tell you guys how it was. I
Well,
got to
let
be able
people
to.
know about the finals. Let people know. When are the finals? Let people know right now.
The NBA finals are taking place from May 26th to May 28th, right? The Hall of Fame starts on the 26th of May, and the NBA championship game is on the 28th of May at 6 p.m. The tournament play is the 26th and the 27th, with championship Sunday happening on the 28th. So, again, the NBA Hall of Fame is going to start at about 6 p.m. on Friday night. Going to be a great event. And then all day on Friday and all day on Saturday, you'll have competitive basketball where, we anticipate 24 teams duking it out for an opportunity to play on Sunday in Charles Koch Arena in Wichita State at the Shockers, Wichita State University's home floor, for an amazing event. It's just going to
Now,
be
Mike,
awesome.
can anybody watch this event?
Yes. And so, to be continued on
I got, I got you.
so we will have several live stream platforms on the 26th and the 27th. On the 28th, we hope to have something special for everybody where they can watch. So It's great. You know, I'm smiling to myself because internally with our team, we know what we're doing and we're working towards a common goal. Um, but and we're close. You know, we're really close and we're excited about where we are. We already know that the NBA, you know, many of our events, the high school skills competition, slam dunk, 3-point contest is going to be on Pluto TV on their on-demand network. Um, but the championship game is something that we're working really hard on, and we're excited about where we are.
So, Michael, do we have a road trip planned for May? Is that what I'm hearing?
Hey, Mike, I'm already thinking who I'm going to invite. I'm already thinking. I got quite a few. I don't want to say no names.
So do I? So I have to get my utility going on the corporate jet. So I have to get that taken
I
care of.
don't know. I got some names,
Hey,
bro.
if you guys show up, and I told Trevon the same thing, if you guys are there, you're gonna have your own corner. You have your own spot.
Hey, Mike, I got a Hall of Famer. How's that? I got Hall of Famer in mind already.
Oh man, that would be awesome.
You think I'm joking? I don't think so. And Mike knows what I do. So hey, you know what? For you doing what you're doing and your association and what you guys are doing, to me, that means so much to me because you've been there to protect and serve us. It's time that we do the same damn thing. And I'm more determined than ever. I can get guests. I can do this. I can do all that. It don't mean that much. But what I can do, or Mike can do, we can do, might make an impact. That's way more important than me having so and so on my show. Fact.
Well, hey, whatever you can do. First of all, I want to say to both of you, I believe you. I believe you. And Mike,
believe me.
both of you guys, I appreciate you sharing everything that we do. And I appreciate the education, right? Because some of the things that that Mike Sineal puts out on Pistol Pete and the pictures and
He's
stuff.
tremendous. He's tremendous. He's unbelievable.
It's amazing. It's a great education for at least for me. It's a great education for basketball. So I just want to thank you guys for it. And you know, I'm gonna tell everybody, and you know, hey, send me your logo so we can put it on the back of one of these T-shirts for the NBA Finals.
Absolutely. That's how we do
it. And go from there, man. I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
It's been an honor and pleasure to have you on. I'm gonna say our show because Mike, he's tremendous. He's amazing. When he takes a part of something, he truly believes in what he's saying. So trust that. And you already know me. I'm off the hook. I do what I say. But anyway, it's been an honor to have you on our show. And we're going to keep in touch. I'm going to let you know who I have in mind. And we're going to make it happen, my brother. And you know something? Because of what you guys have done, again, to serve our country, it's not going to be a problem. I'm telling you right now. Oh, but hold up now. Hold up now. Now talking about the Lakers, we're gonna have problems.
That's a whole other conversation.
I mean, we can talk NBA. That's what I do. I talk NBA. So but the Lakers doing good. I'm very happy about them. LeBron's back. AD, if he can play more than one game on, a couple of games in a row before getting hurt or getting whatever. But I mean, if he can play the way he plays on a regular basis, I think the Lakers are going to be very tough team to deal with. I think if they get into the 4th or 5th seed, they could be dangerous. But other than that, I don't know. I don't know what's up with the Lakers. But you got that logo back there. But one thing I will say, and Mike knows this, I had the opportunity to coach. Well, not coach. I was broadcasting a team called the Boston Frenzy. And there was a coach that walked in. And I'm doing the broadcasting, right? So I'm cool. I see all these players from North Carolina, all Division I players, but I see the coach. You'll never guess who the coach was. Kobe Bryant's dad, Joe Bryant.
Wow.
That's my guy. That's my guy. I'm telling you, Mike, watch out. You never know who's going to come to to Wichita. You have no idea.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Totally looking
Yeah,
forward to it.
but in all seriousness, I appreciate what you're doing and what you have done and your organization. And I just try to make light of things because life is too short. So I have a good time. I do what I do, but I mean it from the bottom of my heart. That's why I got my man Mike Samuel, because he's the same way as I am. He ain't crazy like I am, but he has the same heart that I have, and that's a good thing. Mike, any last thoughts before we got to go?
No, it was just great, Mike. Great seeing you again, and thanks for the information. And wish you well. And let us go to work. Let us go to work, Friday, and see what we can do.
Yes,
We're
sir.
going to do,
Yes,
Mike.
sir. Thank
We
you
got
guys
you,
so
bro.
much.
We got you. Thank you. God bless, Mike.
God bless.
Thank you all for tuning to Sports Corner with the Conn Man on the Sports Empire Network. I am blessed to have my man Mike Myers II, CEO of the NBA Military Basketball Association, and my compadre Mike Samuel. We'll be back again next Thursday, and we have some great guests coming on, such as Nate Archibald, Kenny Anderson, and the list goes on and on and on. And I'm making sure that they're going to know about my man Mike Myers II and the NBA, and we're going to see what we can do. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you
y'all
guys.
for tuning in.
See you later.
Bye-bye.
Tune in next Thursday. God bless.
God bless.
Bye-bye.